Hey, it's Jeremy from To The Table Games, and I'm going to be comparing two games that many people are comparing, and that is Magical Athlete and Hot Streak. And these are two zany, fun race games that just create a lot of hooting and hollering around the table. And so I just wanted to talk about them. But before we get to our comparisons and decide which one I think is the best, I have a Bible verse for us. So I didn't spend a long time like searching for the perfect Bible verse. I just thought about laughter with this, and I just looked up verses that like talked about laughter. And this verse doesn't actually have laughter in it, but I think it captures that. And it's a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. And this is Proverbs 17:22. And the reason I picked this verse is I just think these games are good medicine. They just make people joyful and just bring joy around the table. So let's get into my overview of both these games, and then we'll talk about what I like and what I dislike. So let's get to it. To set up Magical Athlete, you will first put this game board in the center of the table, and you will put it this side up. There's another side which I'll show you later. And then you will take the medals and the ribbons and stack them from highest to lowest, with the lowest on top. There's 4 medals and 4 ribbons because there's 4 races. You will also get the other point tiles. You'll get all of the chunky meeples. Aren't these awesome? And then you will shuffle the athlete deck, and then you'll be drafting 4 athletes. Now, you'll also be giving each player their own wooden dice. Now, after you've drafted your athletes and you're about to start the race, every person will pick one athlete to race. So you'll only be able to pick them from one race. You'll have 4 athletes, so you'll have to just determine which you think is best for each race. Once everyone's picked their racers, the race will begin, and you'll do that. You'll be rolling dice around the table. So this one would roll the dice. He got a 3. He would move 1, 2, 3. But this one has a special ability. If I would have rolled a 1 or a 2, he would actually move 4. This guy here, before your main move, I get 1 point chip if I'm alone in last place. So that wouldn't happen at the start of the race, but 2. So this guy would move 1, 2. This guy, if anyone stops on a space with exactly 1 other racer, I move 2. That's not going to happen right now, but I would roll a 3, and then he would move 1, 2, 3. And then the banana, I trip any racer that passes me. So that wouldn't happen right now, but a 1, 2, 3, 4. And racers can be in the same spot. And if you trip a racer, they actually lose their next turn. This one says, when I stop on a space with exactly 1 other racer, they are eliminated from the race. Ooh, elimination. So 4. So he would move 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 racers here, so he would stay in. They would stay in the race, and then the last racer says, anyone on my space gets +1 to their main move, including me. All right, so 1. And that's the first round, and then you start back over, and you just keep on rolling until the first and the second placer have finished the race. And that is the first race. You would award your ribbons and medals, and then you would flip the board over, and now you can see the other side. And this is the other side of the race, which has trip spots. It has ones that award points, and these move you forward and backwards depending on which one you land on. So it just makes a little bit trickier to get to the finish line. So, and then you would discard all of these racers. You would pick a new racer for this race, and you'd start again. You'd do that 4 times, and that is how you play Magical Athlete. Now, I do want to point out that there are so many different athletes. So there's a lot of game in this little race game. It's silly, it's fun. This is Magical Athlete. To set up Hot Streak, you will be pulling the board right out of the box. You'll notice there's a little thing here, like it just comes right out of the box, which is really cool. That's one of the coolest features of the game. And then you have these awesome mascot meeples. You'll be placing these in their spots, and they are right on their picture. That is their starting spot. You will be picking a dealer, which will handle the money. And so they'll give everyone $10 to start the game. And then you'll have the bookie who sorts all of these tiles from smallest tile to the largest, and you want to make sure they're all on the safe bet side instead of the risky, and they all have a risky and safe side. And you'll also shuffle this deck, and that'll be side bets that you can do. And then each racer has their own betting tile, so you can bet on a particular racer. And then to set up the deck, you will sort out, there's 4 main cards that you will sort out that are in every game. And they have this special border around them, a little bit thicker border than the other cards. And then depending on player count, so if I was playing 8 players, then I would sort, I'd have those 4 cards and 6 other cards. And then everyone else would get 3 cards. And so then to start the race, you would put all these cards out. So showing everybody the cards that are in the race. So people can see how well a racer might do. And so it looks like Bear is not going to do very well, and the Queen will not do very well. And so these green cards make everyone move. Then we have some turnaround cards that make players actually turn around. We'll have some that aren't in right now, but that will knock players over, and then they can only crawl, moving 1 space at a time. And so everyone sees these cards, and they have 3 cards in their hands, and based on, they're going to get to put 1 card in the deck before the race starts. So then everyone's going to draft. It'll be a snake draft. So the first person will draft. It'll go around to the last person, and then the last person will draft again. And so everyone will get 2 of these tiles. So you can either do the yes and no bets, or you can do bet on a particular racer. And when you choose that tile, you should either choose if it's going to be risky or safe. These tiles, the yes and no tiles, if you flip them over, the risky is -5. But if you win, if you're right, you get 15. So those are really good, or at least the top one. They get steadily lower as you take them. So the people that get to them first get a little bit better money-wise. And then these are the same way. They get a little worse as people take them. And you'll get 2 of them. And then everyone will add 1 card, giving it to the dealer, because one person will be the dealer. So the dealer will obviously handle the deck. And the bookie will handle these tiles and the money. And then the handler is actually going to control the racers. So then everyone will add cards to the deck until there's like 18 cards to the deck. And then you'll just flip 1 card at a time, calling out what it is. This is the hot dog moves 1 and then swerves right. So he would move 1 and then swerve to the right. And then the next card will come out. Oh, now he falls down, so now he's going to be crawling. Now also, if the anglerfish would have moved into his space, because now they're in the same run, he also would have gotten knocked down. And that is what's happened so far. And then you'd flip another card. Oh, look at the anglerfish. Now they're crawling in the same line. So he would flip over. He would fall over. And then the next card would come up. So it says, One, no colliding, so you can run into the same space as people and you can't finish. So then everyone would move one, and then you keep on flipping until either everyone's eliminated from the race, and first one eliminated would go in fourth, and so on to first, or when the racers finish the race, and then the bookie will determine what money people got. The dealer will deal one card back to everyone, so they have 3 cards again, and then we'll have 3 cards again, and then you'll show what cards are left in the deck, because all the cards that have been dealt at the beginning of the game are going to be the cards in the race. So you'll see what cards are in the race this time. You'll choose bets again, and then you'll add a card to the deck just like before, and you'll run the race again. You'll do 3 races. At the end of 3 races, you determine who has the most money, and that's how you play Hot Streak. Now that we know what these games are all about, let's talk about the first thing I always talk about, art and components. Now, Magical Athlete here, I love the art of this. I think it brings out like Schoolhouse Rock kind of vibe art. It's silly. I really like it. It feels nostalgic to me. Now, the components in here, as you've seen in the overview, they have these great chunky meeples for every single player power. They have a chunky meeple. They have nice wooden dice. I just think it feels like a premium game, and it's only like a $30 game, so I think that's really nice. I think they went over the top. They could have they could have just had player pawns, but they made a custom meeple for each racer, and that is awesome. So I really like the art and components for Magical Athlete. Now, for Hot Streak, I think the art is just okay. It's silly, which fits the theme. I like that a lot, but this one I think is just way better art. But the components is where Hot Streak shines, right? The board comes out of the box, like the racing mat. That is awesome. You have these super awesome, adorable mascots. I love those a lot. The components are great. I love the components, but it does feel a little cheaper than Magical Athlete. Like, this looks like something you might buy at a big box store. I still like it. I think they were very creative with how they put it all together, but you know, it doesn't seem quite as high a quality in this. So I think Magical Athlete kind of wins in the art and components section of this comparison. So the next thing we want to talk about is the theme. Now, they both are very similar themes. They're both race games. They're silly and chaotic. But Magical Athlete, the theme kind of, I mean, you're like fantastical creatures racing a race. And that's really all I get out of the theme. So, you know, I kind of think it has kind of a loose theme. It's fun, but, you know, maybe, you know, Saturday's cartoon, you know, race, maybe could be the theme you could put on that. And this one is like mascots, like team mascots racing and competing against one another. And even though they're really kind of similar themes, this one really comes out more for me because I can imagine being at a baseball game and seeing the mascots race and you cheering for your favorite mascot. And I think that really comes through and shines in this game. So I think that Hot Streak, for theme-wise, I think notches above Magical Athlete for sure. I just, for some reason, mascots racing really resonates with me. So now the next thing I want to talk about is ease of play. Both of these games are really easy to teach, and there's not a lot of moving parts, so lots of people can play them. Now, Hot Streak, I think, kind of caters a little bit more to a little bit older crowd. Like, I don't think you can get the really, really young kids to play this because of the betting. I just don't think the kids would get the betting and really like understand that necessarily, but I think they would still enjoy watching the race and the silliness of that. So I think they still could have fun, but I think little kids might not like be able to play this. But after that, you get 8, 10 on up, I think you totally could play this, but I don't think a 5-year-old could play this and really enjoy it. But they would like the components and all of that, and I'm sure they would have fun watching the race unfold. Now, Magical Athlete, on the other hand, I think caters to a younger crowd. And it's roll and move. Like, kids' first games almost always are roll and move, or something like that. Like, so most kids know how to do roll and move. Now, I think you might have to take the drafting out, and when I've played with little kids, we just gave them different abilities, and they get to choose which character they want to use. So I do kind of cut that out a little bit for really younger kids. But overall, I think this works for younger kids, but maybe because it's roll and move, some people might not want to play it because they're like, I don't like roll and move games. So I think that this maybe caters to a younger audience, and this one caters to an older audience. But overall, I think they're both really easy. I think that they would bring a lot of people to the table because they're so easy and they're so fun looking. So yeah, I think that they kind of tie in this setting, that the ease of play. I think they're both really easy to play. All right, let's talk about gameplay. Both of these games at their core are drafting race games. Now, they are different, but that is the core of them. So drafting for Magical Athlete, you're going to be drafting your ability, your different racers and their different abilities. For Hot Streak, you are going to be drafting in between, at the beginning of each race, you're going to be drafting betting tiles, and you're going to be betting on racers or something's going to happen in the game. So that's how the drafting is, and the races unfold are functionally different because this one is just dice rolls. You pick your racer and then you roll the dice, and then zaniness happens because of the powers of each of the racers. Now, Hot Streak, you'll know most of the cards in the deck, and then you're going to be adding one. Everyone gets to add one card to the deck, and then you shuffle them, and then you just flip the cards and the race unfolds. Now, I feel like between the two of them, I like the card play better. I just tend to think that card play is less lucky, and you get to manipulate the race. You get to add a card, so you're kind of contributing to how the race is going to run. So it just feels less lucky. Now, both games, very chaotic, but overall, I just think this one seems like you have a little more control. Now, the other thing is you're betting. Like this one, you're just betting on the racer you pick. So you pick that racer and their abilities, and you're betting on that is going to win the race. Now, this one is more obviously a betting game. You are betting by picking what tiles you're picking and betting on that racer or that racer. And so this is a straight betting game. And so that is really how the games play. Now, I like this betting better because it's more like, I was going to point up to Ready, Set, Bet, but I realized you can't see it in the video. But it's more like Ready, Set, Bet, and that's one of my favorite games. So let's get to the winner, right? I think you probably already know, but I think they're closer than you think for me. But I definitely like Hot Streak better. Hot Streak, once again, it's like Ready, Set, Bet, but it's like a shorter, zanier version of Ready, Set, Bet. So if you don't want to spend the time, running races and figuring out everybody's money and all that, this one is much quicker, simpler, zanier. So I don't know if I like it better than Ready, Set, Bet yet. I'll have to play it a few more times, but I definitely think Hot Streak just notches out Magical Athlete just because of the things I like. I definitely could see people, and I've seen people like Magical Athlete better, but for me, and even though I'm not a bettor, I don't like gambling at all. So it's weird that, you know, two games that I really like are about gambling because I don't like doing the lottery. I don't like going to casinos. But, you know, I don't know, something about the stakes of betting on mascots or horses, I really like, you know, when I'm not putting up my own money because I don't like losing my money. But overall, Hot Streak definitely for me is my pick for which one is better. But I think they're both worth picking up. If you have big play groups and you want, you know, to have some larger play count games, I think these are great games to pick up. Maybe a youth group, or maybe you host a life group or something like that, or just like to have people over. I think these would be great games that create a lot of joy around the table. So yeah, so you should check these ones out. I'm pretty sure you can get both of them on Amazon. I know that sometimes they've been hard to get lately, but if you just keep an eye out, they'll show up there. But yeah, so Magical Athlete and Hot Streak. That's my comparison and my winner, Hot Streak. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, comparisons, I could do more comparisons. This was fun. You know, click the subscribe, maybe put a comment below about how you like this style of video. And I will try to put out more long form videos. It's just harder because there's more editing and there's more, you know, like time. And I have to set up different camera views and all those different things for the overview and all that. So it takes longer. But if you like these videos, I definitely am going to try to put out more. So yeah, click the little bell, smash the like, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one.